Hi everyone, it's Diksha Sharma from bonsaiilabs. Welcome to the series on JavaScript. This video today is purely hands-on, and we will be covering a couple of use cases where reduce higher order function could be useful on arrays. Now, if you would like to do a quick refresh on what reduce method is and how it works, I covered that in this previous video. The link is in the description below. So I recommend you watch that first and continue working on the code examples here. So let's start. Let's go through the first problem. We have an array student data which contains the strings and numbers together. Now our goal is to separate out these numbers into a new array so that we can perform some mathematical operations on it. And this is what our result should look like. So now on our code editor, we already have the student data array. Now we declare a variable numbers. This variable is going to store the results of reduce method that will be called on student data. The result will be an array of numbers. Now the first argument to reduce method is a reducer function that takes an accumulator and the current element. Let's call the accumulator a new array and the current element. The second argument to reduce method is an initial value, which we pass it as an empty array. So that accumulator keeps accumulating the values inside this array. Now inside the reducer function, we check if the type of current is number. We would like to push them into a new array, which is nothing but an empty array we passed in the initial value. Finally, after all elements have been traversed, we would like to return this new array. Console.log is now going to log the value of the numbers array. Now when we run it, we get this resulting array. And this is what our expected result was. Here is the second variety of problems where reduce higher order function could be useful. Let's say we have an array transcript containing these strings. Our goal is to concatenate all these strings into a single one such that we get this result. Now back on our code editor, we already have the transcript array. Let's write the final transcript variable, which is going to hold the result of the reduce method. We call transcript.reduce. And we write the reducer function which takes an accumulator and the current element. Inside the reducer function, we would like to concatenate the accumulator with an empty string and the current element. Now one thing you would notice, we are not passing any initial value. And since we are not passing an initial value, accumulator will take the first element of the array and starts accumulating from that value. Next, we would like to log the value of final transcript, and we do console.log final transcript. Now let's go ahead and run the code, and there you go. We have hello there, how's it going? Now if you notice, there is no space between the words. So let's introduce a space and now run it again. And there you go. We have hello there, how's it going? And every word is concatenated into a single string. Let's look at another example. We have an array real estate containing objects, and each object contains ID, name, and price for a property. Now our goal is to get the average price of the properties in real estate array, which should give us back the result of 360K average. On the editor, we already have the real estate array. In order to calculate the average, let's have the total first. Let total is equals to real estate, and we call the reduce method. Now the first argument is the reducer function that takes an accumulator and the current value. This reducer function is going to calculate the sum of all the prices for the properties in real estate array. And we want to keep the initial value to 0 so that accumulator starts from 0 and add up the prices. Now since our goal is to calculate the average, we are going to divide the total that we calculated above with the length of the real estate array. And let's now log the value of the average. Alright, so now when we run the program, it gave us 360K, which was the expected average. I hope these exercises gave you an idea on what problems you could potentially solve by using reduce method on arrays. Thanks for watching this video, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop the comments. You may want to subscribe to this channel if you want to learn fast with these short videos. Until then, my friends, keep learning and share your knowledge.